part of my job, if you call it a job, sitting here in my studio, reporting to you or talking to you or having a conversation with you, that work that I do around this is about me airing the frustrations that I feel about what is happening on the other side of politics and the degree to which it is likely to influence erroneously. Now, the fact that it's influenced erroneously is just my opinion. It's not necessarily the truth. Nothing that I say is necessarily gilded or especially, bound in truthisms. What a lot I say is simply my opinion. And if you do like my opinion, or if you like to object to my opinion, which some people do, then please feel free to subscribe. Just remember, it doesn't cost you anything. A lot of people that watch my videos haven't subscribed. It'd be really great if you would. I would appreciate it. So I'm going to have a brief conversation with you about Sky News again, but about Danica. And the reason why I do this, and I keep reiterating this, is that it's really important for us to understand that the influence that and the attacks that come from the right are usually manifesting themselves in places like Sky News. And there are some other influences around who tend to do the same, but primarily it's Sky News and their ilk that present stuff. And I just want to let you know that if you're watching this, and it's not quite 3 o'clock yet, by the time I get this up here in Adelaide, then please remember that I've got a live feed happening at 3 p.m. Australian Central Standard Time. Love you to join me for that conversation if I have a chance to get this up in time. But I want to talk about the fact that Albo has made a trip to New York. From New York, he's gone to the UK, and in the UK, he was guest speaker at a Labor Party conference, which the right wing seem to object to greatly. They find it's offensive to think that an Australian politician should step outside the country and advocate for the issues that he or she believe are important. That for some reason we should just maintain those issues within our own country, and whatever experiences we've acquired, we should ensure is not expressed elsewhere, that it should remain uniquely us. Well, that's a load of crap. You know, if Albo's got something to say and he can say it overseas and assist or help or provide ideas and encourage someone to do things a little bit differently, perhaps in the way they're doing it, then fair enough. That's his prerogative. Who cares? But clearly, people like Danica, who's filling in for Shari at the moment, thank God, is upset, distressed. It's a terrible, terrible thing that Albo's doing, and that he should stop this gallivanting, this travelling around the world, letting people know that he has a presence, turning up at the United Nations. How dare he? That role should be left to someone like Penny Wong. That Albo's there doing it is a disgrace, something that we all should be or feel embarrassed about. This is where they're coming from, and it's woeful. So I'm just going to show you this clip, and I'll talk about some of the stuff that she carries on with, some of the crap she expounds, as we tend to go through it.
But first tonight, once upon a time, two of the world's great leaders met.
I love this comparison, she's comparing
at 10 Downing Street. Sir Winston Churchill and Sir Robert Menzies met to discuss World War II strategy in London.
Can I suggest that perhaps it was a little bit of a different time? And the point that she's making is that these are conservative leaders, I guess.
Well, fast forward to 2025, it's now Albo and Keir at 10 Downing Street. Gee, talk about a downgrade. Brothers in arms, two lefty mates.
Now, okay, Dan Ig are. What is the downgrade? Why even say that? It's a downgrade because it's Labor versus Conservative. It's a downgrade for you because the Australian leader, the Prime Minister, has an opportunity to talk to leaders. You object like hell that he doesn't get an opportunity to talk to Trump. But when he does have an opportunity to talk to Starmer, you have a go at him anyway. I don't understand your logic here. I don't understand your reasoning, apart from the fact that you cannot force yourself to say anything complimentary about Albanese or the Labor government. You just cannot bring yourself to it. You know, even why isn't it that we can't at least recognise some of the good things that people do, even if we disagree with their politics? Why can't we do that? You know, we just don't seem to be able to. And, you know, she's just an example of that.
It's on an unhinged pathway to implement a woke brand of politics.
Well, I must confess, I haven't heard the term woke for a while. So it's nice to know it's still in vogue, actually. It kind of warms the cockles of my heart to know that the word woke is still there, being used by outdated and outmoded individuals like Dan Ika.
And I think the messaging in Anthony Albanese's speeches, which he delivered in the UK over the weekend, should worry all of us. And
Now, I just want to give a counter view to that, because I heard his speech, and I watched it, and I thought, for what it's worth, I thought it was the best speeches I've ever heard Albanese give. And maybe that's because the tenor of the speech was basically about the way he viewed politics and the right wing, and what we needed to do in order to confront the right wing. And she plays a clip in just a moment, and I'll play it through until she does do that. Then we'll talk about it on the side, where I think what Albanese says is quite relevant. And for someone who sits where she does, and the right wing sit and the Murdoch press sit, I find it interesting. It was fascinating that she should even think about, I guess, playing that particular clip in the first place.
Explain why in a moment. But the PM is about to return home from a week and a half overseas and has morphed into a poster boy for progressives, serving his own interests, not those of the...
Oh my God. That must hurt. That must hurt. That is turned into a poster boy for progressives. Now, nothing must be more painful for people on the right to know that there's a poster boy on one side but not on the other.
This country on what was clearly a politically driven trip to shore up Labor's interests. I mean, all it took was a 4-pack of Albo's Pale Ale.
And just what were Labor's interests? Was it 4-pack of beer? Was that the deal?
Which he made sure all of the cameras took a photo of ahead of his meeting with his UK counterpart. And then he was welcomed like a hero by Sir Keir at a left-wing gaggle fest, then later at the Labor Party conference in Liverpool, on the taxpayer dollar, by the way, where he was a keynote speaker.
It is an absolute privilege to introduce a friend of mine, a real inspiration to those of us on the left. Albo came armed with cans of Albo beer. I kid you not.
That's all it took. Well, you know as well you've been given the kiss of death when Keir Starmer calls you an inspiration to the left. And of course, Australian Labor and UK Labor have a lot in common. A mass migration policy, a failure to secure the borders, a net zero 2050 fantasy accompanied by a renewables only approach. Both have in the last week recognised Palestine. Both have certainly failed to do enough to protect the Jewish community. And through this, the social fabrics of both countries are fracturing.
I am in awe of the way that she was able to put all the grievances together in one neat little package. And the frustrating thing is, and she points out and I agree with a statement that she does make. I don't know whether I'll play it now, but she does tell us and gives us the facts around where Labor in the UK sit right at the moment. And it's not looking good for them because Farage, the popularity of Farage is so strong. And that in itself is scary, and that probably needs a discussion at some other time. But the reality is that what the Labor Party in the UK don't have in common with us is popularity. The Labor Party in Australia is more popular now than what it was when it was first elected, compared to the UK, where their popularity has declined significantly. And there are reasons for that, I hasten to add. But one of the things, I'll just bring us to, if I can quickly find it here, I'll bring us to the bit where Albo speaks, and we'll see what they say about this.
We all sense this is an era where our capacity for peaceful disagreement is being tested. Tearing things down is easy, but it doesn't leave you with anything. The low politics of fear and resentment are easy, but they only divide the country, they don't advance it.
Key word there, divide the country.
No, you stupid moron. I can't believe she said that there, because what it's saying is that what they do at Sky News and what the right wing does is endeavour to divide. And Albo's saying we need to find ways to have a conversation with those people with whom we disagree, and to work through our differences, not attack us. It's like, to watch that statement, and in fact to watch the whole of Albanese's speech, and to think that that somehow he was taking an aggressive approach to tackle the right, is just wrong. He was endeavouring to explain his view of the way the world has been structured in terms of right-wing populist, and that there is a way by which we can meet this time, and that is about having discussions around the stuff that divides us. It's that simple. It's not complicated. And is open to those sorts of discussions. Whereas the right wing, such is evident from Dan Ika, is that they don't want to have those discussions. They just want to divide this country. And they want to set one side against another. Whereas Albo, to his credit, is saying that is not the way to resolve issues. The best way to resolve issues is to have a dialogue, to talk about it, to let people know that they are at least being heard, and that whatever they say will be considered. So I guess that's all I wanted to say. Look, subscribe to my channel, ring the bell for further notifications. I don't know if you've had a chance to watch that speech by Albo, but it's worth having a look at. In the meantime, just look after yourselves.